Hello everybody and welcome back to my first impressions card ranking thingamabob, where I rank every new card in Grim Reminders between -1 and 3. The scale is -1 is a card that negatively impacts your deck like a bad penny. 0 is a standard creature, vanilla, or a 1 amber pip that doesn't do a significant effect like 1-2 punch or Snufflegator. 1 is a good creature or action with a pip that does something positive most of the time. So that would be Life for Life or something like Witch of the Eye. 2 would be a card that has an immediate strong effect like an Urxym or Ronnie Risklocks, and 3 is a deck-making card like Valerico, Punctuated Equilibrium, and Lateral Shift. That's my scale. I've done 3 other videos already, and this one is about Mars. So let's just get to it. Abduct-o-Matic is 4 power, 2 armor. After a fight, if you are haunted, capture 2. So fight, capture 2, only if you're haunted. Scrap the least power friendly creature, captures 2. Okay, so that's a pretty good fight ability. Like, it's kind of like, the lady in Sanctum that has 6 power and fights and captures 1. But this one captures 2 and has less power. I like it less. I think that the Sanctum creature is slightly better. This does have a scrap effect though, which can be quite useful. I'm assuming. I haven't really had too much experience with it. I think I'm gonna give this a 1. I think it's better than a vanilla creature enough to warrant a 1, but I don't think it's amazing. Aberrant Warp Event. Action. Play. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a creature or run out of cards. If you discard a creature this way, put it into play and destroy one of its neighbors. Repeat the positive effect on your opponent. Ooh, okay. That is interesting. Okay, so if you do it, when you do it on yourself, you can choose which creature you're gonna neighbor it with, and you're on also, because you choose which flank, but you are the active player, so you also choose which flank your opponent is gonna put the creature on, and that can be like decent removal. If it had an amber pick, this would definitely be a 1, but I think that without an amber pip, this is just kind of weird and random, so I'm gonna give this a 0. Brash Grabber, 3 power. If you are not haunted, Brash Grabber enters play enraged. Omni, move 1 amber from an enemy creature to your pool. Okay, so the Omni ability is just like grabs a captured amber back, which is not amazing in ability. The enraged thing doesn't matter too much because you want to use the Omni ability probably. So if you're not on a milestone, you can use the Omni ability anyway because you wouldn't be able to fight with it. It's not terrible, but it's not very good either, so I think I will give this a 0. Crop Circles. 1 amber, play. A non-Mars creature captures 1 from its own side. You may purge any number of cards from your archives. The same creature captures an additional 1 amber from its own side for each card purged this way. So this is again that annoying thing where this doesn't actually work with all the effects that put your opponent's creatures into your archives. It's kind of sad in that way. You can purge your own stuff that you have archived, but I'm guessing you usually don't really want to do that. So I'm gonna give this a 0. This is a base. Oh no, wait. It still does the capture 1. Yeah, okay, that's a 1. Capture 1 from its own side. Now that I think about this, a little more, I think this might be actually be a 2, because captures 1 from their own side is almost as good as Relentless Whispers, and if you purge even 1 card from your archive, then that's even better. So yeah, I might even give this a 2. That's interesting. I started at a 0 and I went up to a 2 after thinking about it some. So this is maybe not as obviously powerful, but it is quite powerful. Okay, cool. Curse of Disappearances. Treachery goes to my opponent. At the end of your turn, put a friendly creature into your opponent's archives. If that card leaves the archives, put it into its owner's hand instead. At the end of your turn, put a friendly creature into your opponent's archives. If that card leaves the archives, put it into its owner's hand instead. Okay, so this is confusing because it goes with my opponent and then basically abducts their creatures into my archives. They choose, but it is repeated and it happens every turn. That's a pretty nasty effect. It's slow though, it doesn't have an immediate strong impact, so I'm gonna give this a 1. Distant Void Prober. After Reap, if you are haunted, your opponent's keys cost +3 during the next turn. Scrap, an enemy captures 1 from its own side. Okay, so key cost increase on the Reap is not bad at all. It's a shame that this doesn't happen on play, but the scrap effect is pretty good too. So capture 1 from its own side, that's a pretty nice effect. I think I'm gonna give this a 1. But it could be a 0 too. It depends, and you have to play with it to really be sure, but I think it might be a 1. Don't believe your eyes. Play. If you're haunted, a creature captures 2 amber from its own side. Otherwise, a creature captures 1. Okay, so I think this is not as good. It's not as good as Crop Circles. Still pretty good though. Captures 1 at the bare minimum. That's a card that's worth a 1, I think. That's like no, maybe that no. That's a 0. Capture 2 from its own side. That would be a 1. So I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1. Capture 2 would be better than a 1. A capture 2 might be like a 1.5, maybe. So yeah, on average it would be a 1. 2 power, Elusive. After Reap, play a Mars creature from your discard pile and ready it. And that's a very powerful Reap effect. But 2 power Elusive don't tend to survive too much. But I think I'll give this a 1. I like this card in my deck. Elite Disruptzord. 6 power. Creatures more powerful than Elite Disruptzord cannot be played. That's cute. Very deck dependent, because if you have more powerful creatures, that could suck. Could stop your opponent from playing the Majesty. Probably very good against some Dino decks. Some Brobner decks. Very cute card. Definitely better than a neutral creature, so I'll give this a 1. Glimmerspore. Play. Put an artifact from play into your archives. If you are not the owner of that card, leave play. Also, this abducts an artifact. But it can also return your artifact with a play effect. I don't know how many of those there are. But abducting an artifact would be very, very decent. It doesn't have an Amber Pip though. It is versatile. I think I'll give it a 1. I probably like having that in my deck. Probably don't want more than 1 though. I don't know how to pronounce that. Ilxid Avenger. I don't know if that's an I and an L, or a double I, or a double L, or what the hell is going on there. Play after fight. Give Ilxid Avenger a +1 power counter for each mouse card in your discard pile. Meh? Scrap. Okay, so this is 0. Not interesting. Might be like big, but it doesn't have any interesting effects, and I don't really care about giving power counters to creatures at all. Loyalty implants. Omni. Destroy loyalty implants. You may use friendly Mars creatures this turn. So this is basically like a Sigil of Brotherhood, but without an Amber Pip. Sigil of Brotherhood is like a 1. This would be a 0. Baseline card. Nameless Horror. Poison. While you are haunted, Nameless Horror gains Elusive and Skirmish. So if you're not haunted, this one is trash. And if you are haunted, this one is okay. So I'm gonna give this a 0. Overclocked Shock Collar. Overclocked Shock Collar. This creature gains after reap, stun this creature and each of its neighbors. Scrap and stun each Mars creature. So you play this on your opponent's card, and if they reap with it, it stuns the creature and its neighbors. Meh? I mean, it has like a pip, so that's not terrible, but this is a 0. It doesn't. I don't like it. It gives my opponent too many options. Phloxem Spewer, Splash Attack 2. Each of Phloxem Spewer's Mars neighbors gains Splash Attack 2. 0. It's too small. Plague Wind. Play until the end of your turn. Each non-Mars creature gains -3 power. Ooh. That's pretty good. I don't know. I would prefer if it did 3 damage to normal creatures, because then it's not like temporary. You could like shrink your opponents and fight into them. I don't think this is very good. And flavor text is O A A A A A O O. I'm guessing that's a reference to some song, but I don't get it. Okay, so I think this is a 0. Baseline, decent. Plan 10 artifact. At the end of each player's turn, return a card from under Plan 10 to its owner's hand. If there are no cards other than Plan 10, destroy Plan 10. Play. Put each non-Mars creature face up under Plan 10. Okay, so it captures all the non-Mars creatures and puts them under it, and then at the end of each of their turn, they pick a creature to put back into play. It can be their own creature, it can be their opponent's creature. If it's only my opponent's creatures under it, then I would have to put one of their creatures back. It's a weird card. I mean, it's a kind of a temporary one-sided board clear if I have some Mars creatures, so that might be pretty good. I'm gonna give this a 1. Psychic Haze. And enraged creatures cannot be used to fight friendly Mars creatures. Action: enrage each enemy creature. That's weird, because you kinda want enraged creatures to find your creatures. So if you only have Mars creatures, then they are not actually enraged. But if you have other creatures in play, then they are enraged. Still not a brilliant effect. I'm gonna give this a 0. Shrink Ray Technician. After Reap, choose an enemy creature. It gets -2 power until the end of the turn. Scrap. Choose the most powerful enemy. Choose the most powerful enemy creature. That's very weird phrasing. Until the end of turn, that creature is considered to have 1 power and 0 armor. Boring. Very, very boring. Very, very boring. 0. Target Yynxzdyl. Play, archive a card from your discard pile. After Reap, archive target. Okay, so you play archive a card from your discard pile, and if you reap with it, it archives itself. Or Yeah. Cute. Cute. Play all kind of cards from your discard pile is good. It's better than a Xyloxxzlphrex researcher. This is a 1. This is a 1, yeah. Amber, terrible teammates. Enhance, draw, discard. Sloppy pip. Play, you may discard a non-Mars card. Play, you may discard a non-Mars card. It's May, so still baseline 0. I don't think it's good enough effect to warrant a 1. It is nice that it comes with a draw and a discard pip. Still, I would just give it a 0. Maybe a 1 because of the draw pip. No, I'll give it a 0. The Body Snatchers. Play. For the remainder of the turn, each enemy creature gains destroyed. Fully heal this creature and give control of it to your opponent instead. Interesting. So you play it and then fight into the creatures or destroy them some other way. And I get them. That's cute. But I think it's very situational. So I'm gonna give it a 0. The Red Death. Enhance, damage, discard, sloppy. The Red Death cannot ready unless you are haunted. After a fight, gain 1 amber and draw a card. Ooh, that's a really good fight ability. And it gets 2 sloppy pips and a damage pip. That is very cute. 12 power. Only downside is cannot ready. I'm gonna give this a 1. If this was entered play without, if this was not dependent on being haunted, then that would be a 2 power 2 creature. That would be insane. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very cool. U.F.O. Ammo Pip. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Mars card or run out of cards. If you discard a Mars card this way, put it into your hand. Yeah, so this is like kind of Lithologica for Mars creatures. That's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 1. Urxym the Diplomat. Quotation marks. So not really a diplomat, just pretending to be a diplomat. Elusive. After Reap, lose all your amber. Destroy an enemy non-Mars creature for each amber lost this way. That's a pretty strong Reap effect. But it also kind of double-edged sword because you might want to keep your amber. And it's after Reap, so you definitely don't get the amber, which kind of puts it in a weird position where it can't Reap. It's probably pretty good to kill your opponent's creatures, and like worst case you just don't use it if you don't want to lose your amber. Oof, this is tough to rank. I think it's either a 1 or a 0. It is elusive and it's pretty powerful. Reap effect. Tough to say, really tough to say. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna be conservative and give this a 0. War of the World. Destroy all non-Mars creatures. Deal 2 damage to each Mars creature. This is busted. Very, very strong board clear. Potentially one-sided if your opponent doesn't have Mars and you do. It might be a 2. I'm not entirely sure. It's definitely at least a 1. It's a very strong board clear. But it's still a board clear and still situational. You don't always want to play this. I think I give it a 1. Xyp the Implanter. Elusive. After Reap, take control of an enemy creature. Destroy a friendly creature. Okay. So it grabs opponent creatures and then kills friendly creatures and possibly itself if I don't have another different creature. Oh, I can just take control of the enemy creature and then kill it. That's very good. I'm going to just give this a 1. Yipyax Abductor. Play after fight. Put an upgrade from play into your archives. If you are not the owner of that card and it leaves your archives, put it into it or not instead. I don't know what kind of upgrades are in play that I might wanna abduct, but it abducts out upgrades. It's not very good. It's slightly better than 0, but not quite a 1, so I'll give it a 0. Okay, and that was the Mars. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you have differing opinions in mind, feel free to comment and let me know what you think. And yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our Star Alliance next.